This is the exact stuff I do every single year that has helped me lose fat faster and faster every year that goes by if I'm trying to get in shape or if I have big goals. This is the protocol that I run through to make fat loss, especially losing that stubborn belly fat, way easier. And on today's video, I'm going to map out step by step the exact stuff that I do that seems to just speed up fat loss year in and year out. So we're going to just jump right into things and start with the first thing that you got to get right. For me, I call this non-negotiable target setting. And I don't know if you're like this, but anytime I know I'm going to have to show up somewhere at some point during the year to, a beach or a pool or some kind of in-person event with a lot of people, knowing I'm going to want to look my best, that tends to get me motivated more than most things. It kind of builds some urgency into your whole fat loss plan. So the first thing that I get on my calendar every single year is some events, whether it's a family vacation, go to the beach weekend, or an in-person event with my clients who we actually help transform their body. Probably people just like yourself, where I'm going to want to show up looking and feeling my best. Now, at some point, you're going to get to a phase where you're no longer out of shape. If you're watching this and you need to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds, don't worry. I used to be that way too. Back in the day, 15 plus years ago, I was 65 pounds overweight. And what really got me motivated was wanting to look better in pictures. I know it sounds super shallow, and of course there were deeper reasons behind it, but anytime I knew like I have a beach vacation coming up, or I'm going to go on a cruise, I'm going to be, shirtless somewhere, I'm going to feel really self-conscious if I'm not in shape. And I can remember one of the earliest memories I have when I was in my early 20s of going on a cruise vacation. And there was this contest where all these guys got judged based off their physique, right? It was kind of silly, probably not the most kid-friendly type of show, but people would vote on the most jacked, lean physique. And I remember seeing this guy there who was super, super ripped. I took my shirt off thinking I was pretty lean at the time because I had been dieting for a while, and I was nowhere near as lean as this guy. And I saw the pictures afterwards and I was super bummed out. I felt like a failure, and I was like, I'm going to set another trip, and the next time I show up, I'm going to be in the best shape ever, right? And this whole idea started to become this yearly tradition for me where over time, obviously, I would start to maintain a much lower level of body fat as I mastered this whole thing called health and fitness. But now when I go into every single year, I look at a calendar and I'm like, when am I going to peak physique-wise this year? Because let's just be real, as a side note, you're not going to always be super shredded. Unless you're just a genetic freak who happens to be naturally really lean all the time, it's going to be hard to maintain sub 12% year round, unless you're on a bunch of drugs or just, once again, naturally someone who stays that lean, which a lot of genetic freaks are like that. You just have to understand that there's going to be times where you gain a little bit of weight, lose a little bit of weight. And for me, I'm naturally someone who gains weight very easily. So I'm not the guy walking around with an 8-pack easily 24/7. I have to really work for it, or I've had to learn how to maintain a leaner physique. So one of the things is I look at my calendar and I pick 2 to 3 non-negotiable targets. For me this year, for example, in May, we're taking my son and his friends to Mexico for a birthday week with him and one of his close friends who have the same birthday. We're going to go to Mexico as a family. I want to show up looking fit, right? And this just for me. I don't even have to really tell my family or anything. I might share it with my wife, hey, I'm going to be dieting for this trip or whatever. Typically that's one checkpoint. Valentine's Day, which is my wife and I's anniversary, I always like to try to look my best for that day. And then of course we have our fitness live event, which happens sometimes twice a year. This year we're doing one at the end of March. We're doing another one in August for our clients, which by the way, if you want to learn all about our true transformation system, where we help guys like you who have families lead their family through health and fitness, transform their body and look and feel and perform at their best. You can check out the descriptions in the link below. And one of the things we do is live events, right? And so I want to show up looking my best. A lot of our clients come to these events having gone through a transformation. They do a before and after kind of photo shoot, and it's a really big deal. And I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let them down. So I have these events on my calendar. Now, this is just step number 1. We're going to go through, I have my handy dandy notebook here, keeping myself honest. And I also have my cup of coffee. By the way, in the comments below, what is your beverage of choice? I just want to know. For me, it's coffee. I like to have at least 1 coffee a day. I'm not like a massive coffee drinker, but I do get my 1 cup a day in. And so that's what I'm drinking today. So what's the next thing? Well, I think along with having non-negotiable targets, and don't worry, we're going to cover an actual rapid fat loss protocol. I'm just trying to give you the framework to have a successful, faster fat loss experience. The next one is having what we call a battle buddy. We do this in our program, and you get paired up with someone who has been through some of these phases before to give you a little bit of insight and just extra accountability around your goals. And so for me, I have guys in my social circle and on my team. I have a guy named Ryan, a guy named Belton, guy named Christos. These are all guys who I work with who are super locked in to their goals. And I know they're working hard. And so I better step my game up and follow suit. Otherwise, I'm not going to be a part of the crew, right? And that's just like how things are. So like right now, if your, social circle or the guys you hang out with or the people you spend a lot of time with aren't serving you on the fitness side, I'm not going to tell you to like unfriend them or anything like that. I'm just going to say, find some people that do serve you with the fitness stuff. Get a battle buddy or a partner in crime or whatever the heck you want to call it, an accountability partner, if that's your thing. Find people who you can do this with, who really want to do it too. It's another reason to check out our program because like it's full of people who are in this journey the same way you are. You don't have to go at it alone. I know for me, when I'm doing things by myself, yes, I'm an introvert, but I still need that extra layer of motivation and support from guys like me who go through the day-to-day stuff that I go through with being a dad, being a husband, managing a business, getting stressed out, wanting to eat too much, the whole 9 yards. It can be challenging. So have someone in your corner. It's the second thing. The third thing is actually getting results quicker. So what gets me results quicker? Well, getting results quicker does. Let me explain what I mean. So a lot of mental games that you're going to play when you're trying to lose fat. So I like to start a fat loss phase out with a rapid fat loss protocol. Now, this could be argued by a lot of people. Like I preach sustainability, I preach lifestyle friendly, but I'll tell you what, like after being in the game for multiple decades now, I became a personal trainer back in 2004. I started True Transformation in 2013, which was our online version of what I did in person. And it's grown to serve over 7,500 people over the past 11 plus years. I've learned that there's a time and place for slow and steady. I think the slow and steady part comes when you're just entering the fitness world, right? And you're coming out of being in bad habits, bad routines for quite some time. And you're like, okay, now I got to get my life together. I think it's important to build something you enjoy, but I do think there's a time and place to really hit the gas and really push results. So here's what I do. And don't have to copy this, but maybe take some notes and see if it helps you rapidly lose fat like it does for me every year. I commit to about 6 to 8 weeks of like tough, dialed in fat loss. I up my steps that I do per day from averaging around 10,000 per day to averaging around 12 to 15,000 per day. I don't necessarily go to the gym more because my life doesn't allow for me to go and live in the gym. And I don't suggest you do that, but my workouts get really focused. I hit 3 to 4, like really dialed in strength workouts per week where I'm diligently trying to get stronger to avoid muscle loss and to just keep me motivated. Like, hey, not always going to see the scale go down. Not always going to see the mirror looking different, but man, I can push the logbook. I can get stronger. I actually go pretty low calorie 5 or 6 days a week. How I do this, I start my week with a longer fast. Usually it's a 24-hour fast. So like from Sunday night to Monday night, I don't eat food. Monday night, I'll have a light, like high protein, moderate fat meal, low carb meal. Then I kind of introduce carbs as the week goes on. I'm not saying low carb is the way to go. In fact, I highly suggest you don't follow a low carb diet most of the time. But for me, it's just easy. And I don't go like keto or anything like that, but I keep my carbs a little lower. My fats are moderate to keep my appetite under control. And I go super high protein. So early in the week, let's call it from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm doing things like steak, fruit, eggs, a little bit of like potatoes at night, protein shake, protein bar, things like chicken with like salad because it's high in protein and low in fat, low in carbs. And then on the weekends, I'll reintroduce carbs at a little higher level. Like I'll have some rice, I'll have some bread, I'll have some pasta, right? But still controlling my calories, not going crazy. And then maybe once on a weekend, I'll have like a treat meal where I'll have some ice cream, some pizza or whatever. Nothing crazy, a couple thousand calories more than what I would normally eat. Maybe 1,200 calories more. And I do this because I'm creating a massive deficit during the week, right? With the 24-hour fast, and sometimes I do push it to 36 hours. Usually once a month, I'll do a 36-hour fast. Fasting's not magical. It's literally just a way for me to control my appetite and create a bigger calorie deficit to start the week, meaning I'm burning a normal calories. I'm not eating food. So now I'm losing fat faster during that week because the deficit is now much bigger. So I do this for a period of 6 to 8 weeks, and I'd rather just get the fat off quick, for me at least. I don't want to spend 4 or 5 months in a fat loss phase. I want to spend a month and a half to 2 months at the most, chipping away at whatever body fat I gained over the holidays. Because that's the whole point that I'll make here too, is I gained some weight over the holidays on purpose, not because I'm gaining 15, 20 pounds, but 5, 6 pounds, couple pounds of fat because I'm giving myself and my body a little bit of a mental break from struggling, or not even struggling, but just working on staying lean because, hey, I like how I feel when I'm leaner, but at the end of the day, my body isn't necessarily a naturally lean body. I have to really work for it. So it does drain me. And sometimes I have to work on being okay with not being 10% body fat, right? These are games that I play that are a little more advanced. But if you're a guy and and you're over the age of 40 and you're like 20% body fat or higher, I would strongly suggest just getting down to a healthy body fat range. Like, I know for me, I live most of the year somewhere between 12 and 15%. And for me, that's really healthy. I feel really good. But once a year, I do push, like I said, to get down to that sub 10%. And it's a mental exercise. It's a challenge, which leads me to the next thing that has helped me lose fat way more rapidly. And that is having fitness adventures. Now, I call them fitness adventures. You might call them challenges. You might call them fitness events. But I like to put things on the calendar where after I get as lean as I want to be, I'm going to maintain that leanness by going after performance goals. So I have a fat loss phase, let's say, that runs from, the end of January to the end of March, 8 weeks. And then after that, I transition into performance training, but I don't go crazy with food. I slowly increase my calories, but I'm also doing things that need more calories. Like, I'm doing more cardio-based stuff like the row machine or the ski machine or the bike or running or whatever. I'm burning more calories because I'm trying to perform and go after a fitness adventure like a High Rocks or a DecaFit. This is kind of one of the secrets that we utilize. Inside of our program with our clients, which, by the way, you can check out in the description below. If you're interested in a permanent transformation, we're the guys you come to when you've been disappointed by all the diets, all the workout plans that just don't last, and you want something that is tried, true, tested, and has performed well over the past couple decades. We're the team to help you get there. We provide the coaching plus the community of massive support to give you a lifelong relationship with fitness. But anyway, go check that out if you're interested. For me, adventures are the ticket that we teach our clients as well to maintain enjoyment of fitness. Can't always just be about fat loss. I think we're going to end up losing fat faster when we take the focus exclusively off the body fat and we go, how can I maintain a lean physique or get leaner, but do things that are more challenging physically? And I don't mean you have to go run or you have to do things that are crazy. It's just about learning to enjoy other aspects of fitness, something just to think about. So here's another thing I do that has helped me lose fat that I do every single year that just makes fat way, way faster. Fat loss way, way faster. And that is giving up alcohol for chunks of time. I like to have a glass of wine or two at dinner with my wife on date nights. That's about the extent of my drinking. I'm not someone who enjoys alcohol every day. In fact, I dislike drinking every day. It's the worst. I don't like doing it. If I'm on vacation, I'll probably drink every day, but I still try to limit any kind of negative hangover or anything like that. But right now I'm actually, like, as of the filming of this video, I'm about 13 days into a 40 days of no alcohol challenge. But I might do this a few times this year. And actually, I might even extend it past 40 days if all things go well. Why? Because alcohol and fat loss, do they mix? Yeah, but it's not the greatest relationship. All right. Fat loss slows down dramatically when we're drinking a lot. Alcohol is a toxin. The body has to get rid of it. It doesn't have any real use for it. So I like to go without alcohol for a period of time. And it gives me that willpower exercise. Like, I'm flexing my willpower muscle. I'll have to find new ways of enjoying date night outside of having a couple glasses of wine. I'll enjoy some Diet Cokes, right? And my wife's right there with me. Like, we're both doing the 40 days of no alcohol and things have been great. Like, it's actually good. Like, we feel better. And it also kind of cleans up some of the damage that gets done over the holidays because it's just natural. Like, we end up drinking a little more because we're hanging out with family. We're stressed out because the kids are home a little more. Like, just being honest, like, date nights are actually a little more frequent because people are out of school from college. So we have babysitters and stuff. So, like, we go out and have family in town. We go on a couple nights out and drink a little too much sometimes and get back to normal life. And we're like, okay, time to kind of reset things a little bit. And so one little trick of the trade is bookending no alcohol challenges. So what we do is with clients, the first 30 days, we suggest, and we don't make people do this, but we suggest no alcohol. The middle 30 days of your first 90 days is a limited amount of alcohol. So 2 alcoholic drinks per week. And that's it for the next 30 days. And then we do another no alcohol for 30 days. And then the one after that is like, okay, 2 to 3 drinks a week. And all we're doing here is we're helping people eliminate one of the unnecessary factors in a lot of cases, like the calories that come from alcohol are empty calories. The process of breaking down alcohol and getting it out of your body slows down and sometimes in some cases prevents fat loss. Cortisol levels go through the roof when you're hungover and not getting enough sleep. There's a lot of stuff that alcohol can do that's damaging to the fat loss process. So I'm not here to tell you don't drink. I'm just here to tell you that it might help you to go periods of time without alcohol. The other thing I do is I get skin in the game. I've done this every year. It works great. My career is based around fitness. I don't live in the gym. I live a very similar life to you, probably, as a father, as a husband, as a business owner, and someone who is responsible for a lot of people. Definitely don't train like an athlete or, live my life as a Olympic athlete where I'm just working out all the time. I know some people might think a fitness coach does that, but that's just not the case for me, at least. That being said, I have a lot of skin in the game because my fitness business at least, is highly dependent on my health. I would argue that everything we do in life is dependent on our health. So you have skin in the game whether you know it or not. But when you have things on the line, and for a lot of people, the easy one to understand here is money, right? So people are like, why do people pay for a fitness coach? And I'd say, well, because they don't want to have to figure it out on their own. That's the first thing. They want accountability. And third, whether they know it or not, psychologically, you're more likely to do something and follow something when you're going to lose something significant. So it's also why I argue against super cheap crap, right? It's like a pair of $1,000 shoes is going to get treated better than a pair of $10 shoes in most cases. And I hope you treat everything well because of the blessings that you have been given. But someone who spends $3,000 on a coach is more likely to follow the program than someone who spends $30 on an ebook. That's just how it is. Like, whether you agree with it or not, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, I've seen clients come through our high-end programs and they get the best results because they're invested. They get skin in the game. So I do the same thing, right? I go out and invest in coaches, not necessarily for fitness all the time, even though I did hire a coach that helped me run a marathon last year and shave quite a bit of time off my time. And I had a lot of skin in the game with that coach. So I followed the plan. And I think for those of you who are watching this going like, how do I stay more accountable? How do I stay more motivated? Well, if you're not investing in your health, then that's something you're lacking, that urgency, that skin in the game. So I get skin in the game by publicly declaring with my team and my clients, like, I'm going to show up looking my best, or I'm going to show up and perform my best. And if I don't, then I'm hurting my reputation. I'm hurting financial health. I'm hurting the company's health. So I got a lot on the line. So it might sound a little like pressure packed, but pressure makes diamonds, right? So a little bit of pressure is good. You don't need to have an unhealthy relationship with fitness. But if you go out and you go, all right, I'm going to get in great shape this year. You hire a coach, you join a gym, you invest heavily into your health. I promise you, your results are going to be better because you have skin in the game. All right. So that wraps up today's video. Hey, by the way, if you want to get a full starting plan to get you started and just get on the path, I have a couple options in the description below. I'd highly recommend our 3M action plan. This is a complimentary resource that I'll give you to get you rolling, to get you set up with a system that will work like crazy if you follow it, to help you start dropping weight, start dropping belly fat. And then if you're like, hey, I want to take things to the next level, then I would check out our 3M First Class Transformation System and Coaching Program for busy, hardworking professionals who just want to lead their family better through being healthier, being fit, who want to look good and just want to feel their best every single day. If that's you, then you'll fit in great at our program. We're, like I said, the people who get hired after all the disappointing diets and programs out there don't work. So go check us out in the description below and let me know which one of these pieces of advice today resonated with you the most. I got some more videos you can watch in the description below as well as your next steps. My name is Josiah Novak, thetruetransformation.com. Life moves fast. Make it count. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.